Yeah. I don't know. But we can carry on to the next one.
Yeah, I think it's probably still pretty big. It's just not as talked about anymore. I would assume.
Yeah.
Because you still have, like celebrities going to basketball court and paparazzi be like, oh my god, they were there, and then.
I know
And
football is pretty crazy popular, but football
yeah,
for us is like different than football in Europe, or is it
yeah, because
just the
your
UK?
football is the one with the pill-shaped red brown ball, while football for us is
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. I think you got like this one. It's very wholesome. Oh, actually, this is one
I'm
where
excited.
one of the factions I told you does get mentioned, and so I will tell you what the faction is all about, from what I understood over reading over those 3-4 years. But yeah, the next one is called A Bear and His Granddaughter. So, okay, object class safe. Special containment procedures -1. Okay, so this is a thing you haven't had the experience yet. -1 and -2 basically mean those are multiple different parts, but they're all connected to the same anomalous situation. So, for example, let's just say, for example, the PlayStation 5 right next to me has an anomalous effect. But then also the controllers has a different effect, but it's connected to that PlayStation. So like the PlayStation would then be the -1, and the controllers would be -2 and 3. So that's how that's how it works.
Okay.
So when you see like -1 or -2, it's basically saying it's a sub branch of the same same SCP thing. There's
I
like other
see.
examples I could have given, to be honest. Like there's like a
Like it's
part.
more than one thing, but they're
Yeah.
part of a whole
Yeah,
like
exactly. Because
situation.
yes, you got it. There's like one SCP that's like is a giant clay pot, so that's -1, and then after a while it gets over flooded, like there's just water coming out of it, and after when the water stops flooding, fucking goblins pop out, and the goblins are considered -2s. So, like, yeah, it's a whole different situation, but it's
That makes sense.
yeah, it's all connected. -1 and -2 are to be housed inside 282. -1 is to be kept in a standard animal containment unit. -2 is to be kept in a Type S humanoid anomaly containment cell. Requests submitted from -2 for various containment are to be approved on a case-by-case basis as behavior permits. Once every 2 weeks for 90 minutes, -1 and -2 are allowed to interact with each other and in -1's containment unit under supervision from a level 2 researcher and a security guard. And here you have a picture of -1 with -2. Not sure what was the next page that I forgot. Oh, I never actually clicked on this. We're not gonna read that. I completely forgot. Gotta shout out the author. Pardon me. The author is Decibels, which I believe this one, if I recall correctly, is one of the first ones from Decibels I get to have the pleasure to read. Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was 150, which was way back then. But yes, Decibels. I know this was the second one I got to read from their work, and it's pretty good. Okay, again, picture of -1 and -2 in 1994, prior to developing anomalous abilities, recovered from SCP-2091's discovery point. Let me just zoom in for ya, so you can see that picture nice and good.
Zoomies! Why does it
Zoomy.
look like the bear is eating her head?
Nah.
No,
Nah,
not
no.
the tasty little babu.
No, he won't do that. I know I said that with the most like
I thought you said this is wholesome.
it is. You'll see. You'll see.
Oh God.
I wouldn't lie to you, audience.
Oh God.
Description: -1 is a sculpture of an Ursus arctos terribilis, grizzly bear, 1.2 meter tall at the shoulder and 2.1 meter in length. It is made out of polymer clay with documentation recovered at its discovery point dating its creation to 1994. Ultrasound testing has shown cavities within SCP-2091 corresponding with the locations of organs found within grizzly bears despite no biological tissues being detected, with no mechanism to give it the ability to move. Various parts of its body have been replaced with patches of grass and two toes replaced with materials from a watch. -1 is unable to move itself or perform any action unless within 50
Two of
meters.
its toes.
Yes.
Ugh.
Unless within 50 meters of -2. Yeah, it is made out of clay, so it's not very, it's not like an actual bear that can just be like, oh, I got a.
Oh, it's a clay bear.
It's a clay bear.
Oh God, I'm running.
I really wonder how you're gonna feel at the end of this. -2 is a human female by the name
I
of.
love how I'm more afraid of a clay bear than a real bear. I'm like, oh God, I'm running.
To be fair,
I thought it was a real bear.
To be fair, the idea of a clay bear moving by itself, well, not really by itself, but like if it starts moving once a woman just stands next to him, would be terrifying. Like it would just stand still the whole time, and then like, Abigail comes into the picture and suddenly he's like, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, -2 is a human female by the name of Abigail Harlow, 20 years of age. Background checks and interviews during its time at the Foundation revealed no apparent history of anomalous abilities prior to -1 gaining its anomalous traits in 1998. When -1 is within 50 meters of -2, -1 displays locomotion and behavioral traits commonly associated with grizzly bears. It will attempt to stay close to -2 whenever possible and attack organisms it perceives to be threatening or harmful to -2. -2 has claimed to be able to understand -1, saying it is its grandfather. Whenever within the area of effect, -2 has been observed talking to -1 and conversing with it, although -1 has never been observed talking. So yeah, Abigail was like, this is my granddaddy. Clay bear.
Oh gosh.
During its active state, -1 has the ability to repair any damage to its body by swallowing a variety of materials, having a preference for clay when given a choice. And here we have a footnote that says, see testing log A through G, which I don't think we have a testing log here. That's very interesting about the Foundation, like these type of logs. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, see addendum B or see incident A, and you're like, but it doesn't exist. It's not around. Why you lie? Which I assume is supposed to be like, as in like it's a hidden file that people like us cannot easily find because it's all secretive. But here we go. Addendum A. A search of the house at Woodbine, Georgia, where -1 and -2 were discovered, revealed journals, notes, and photographs belonging to who is presumed to be -2's grandfather, David Leno. I assume again the X, you not pronounce it. As well as an art studio belonging to him. Obituaries dated to February 13, 1998 confirm his death, though no body has been found. Court documentation shows that POY 962 Jonathan Harmon is the legal guardian of -2, though no other documentation relating to Mr. Harmon has been found. The majority of the files recovered of -2's house were deteriorated or unreadable due to poor management, though what has been recovered is in the Foundation archives. See Addendum C and recovered file archive SCP-2091. Now, Jonathan Harmon, when you click on this, it should open to the Serpent's Hand. Yes, the Serpent's Hand. That's one of those factions that would like to contain or like keep their own, like the anomalies, because they're very much like a cult.
It's like a cell phone for birds. Do you see that? The spirit staff of Eastern Avian Shaman?
I do see it. Yeah, right here. It says. I actually wonder what happens if I click. Oh, it's probably it's like a different thing. But yeah.
We're going down the rabbit hole.
No, we're not. But yeah, Serpent's Hand, from what I understand, they're basically like a cult.
Oh gosh.
And they have their own like beliefs and wants for SCPs, because they're like very much like oh yeah, they're not connected to the Church of the Broken God, which is also a religious faction, but they definitely have like some connection to like, oh, we believe that they definitely have like this belief that, like, you know, God has created these things and we should use them for our own benefit.
Okay.
Yeah, like as in like, this is part of our life. This is part of how our nature. Like, just let them be, and it does like, yeah, kind of like how they see pets and animals. Like, hey, let me have one, and let me just do whatever I want.
Oh.
So
Fair
yeah.
enough.
That's who the Serpent's Hand is. At least that's how I view it. I might be fully wrong, and I might get shafted for it in the comments, but that's what I always like saw how they handled things. And yeah, they're very much not rivals, but definitely more like obstacles to the Foundation, because sometimes they would like break in and try to, like, you know, steal an SCP. Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. Addendum C. The following is a transcript of one of the few recoverable pages taken from the journals of Dash 2's house relevant to its entry. Journal entry 1st, 5th, 98. I believe that's the grandpa writing this. No, it's a journal from... No, it is a grandpa. Okay. No reason to be cruel to your followers, and is leaving behind a granddaughter to inherit nothing but her clothing, anything but cruel. With no family to speak of except for me, she have no one to turn to. And may you damn me to hell if I leave sweet Abby to the destiny of adoption, on which is unforgiving and cold as I have learned. You have seen me through those tough times, and I have no doubt that you would also help her through those tough times. But isn't it the work of the Lord to lessen the suffering of his children? Scribble marks. A couple of weeks prior, I had gone to a conference to meet with a long-time friends in Cross City, for what I had then wagered to be my last time there. My physician had cleared me to go. And so
Can I read it too?
Actually, I want you to read the interview section.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, because I want you to read Abby for me. Because last time I had to do a female voice, and my female voices suck. So
is she supposed to be a little girl? Just so
she
I know.
is 20 years old at now.
Oh,
so.
okay. So then.
Yeah.
Okay.
My physician, and so long as I had Abby supervised by my friends in case of medical emergencies, I would be free to go with her there to worship. Unfortunately, I could not spend long, as most of my time was spent in the bathroom, sick and sobbing. I would not doubt that Abby was smart enough to catch on to what had happened. Jonathan had, by the intermission, I still don't really know what sick even means, I never looked it up, of the service, approached me as Abby and I were ready to head to the nearby store for groceries. He sat down with me as I sent Abby to play with Curtis and his daughter, Francis. He had wondered what my plans were should I die soon. I took offense to this, as I would not leave Abby in the hands of a system so cold and cruel to children, nor leave her on her own. Yet I had been searching for months to find a suitable guardian for her. There were no other family or friends of my son Ian, nor could I locate his wife. Though I have forgiven her, I do not know if I could ever reconcile with what she has done, nor speak or write her name. It is better for Abby to never know. What other plans could I have then? He told me that he knew of a way that could work. One of the services he had been to over in Franklin County with a group he had referred to as the Hand had taught him what is supposedly magic to work in accordance to the Lord's ways. I had considered it blasphemous and was ready to leave when he had handed me printouts of what was needed to be done. I read incredulously, each word making me more fearful. Could I really continue to watch over Abby? The words must have left my mouth as well, because he chuckled and nodded. There would of course be the issue of my sudden disappearance. He had agreed to work at that issue as well, as he would claim to be Abby's guardian, but leave me be. Could I be forgiven for casting him with a suspicious eye, despite having known him for 40 years, since the two of us had grown up together as children? He was never particularly religious, though he informed me a few years ago he had found God again. Plus, he will be the final legal link Abby has to my family. He had encouraged me to research and to phone him my answer when I was sure. I thought about his words on the drive home. Whenever I was not tending to Abby at the hospital, tending to my art, or sleeping, I'll be constantly reading the Bible, praying, searching for an answer. I had never given up looking for the best option for her, and it is only until last night that I decided this, then, would be the best action to take. Abigail, I hope you understand. I will not guard her any longer than I have to. I will not cheat you, God, by staying with my spirit on earth eternally. When her time in her body is gone, I shall join her to go to you. And that's the end of the journal entry. So what do you think?
It was interesting. That was definitely something. I don't know what to say about it necessarily, but do you have any comments anything that stood out to you?
In the stream, I said that that Jonathan is definitely very much like banking on the fact that the grandfather is desperate. I think he was doing what the hand does, trying to get people to do their dirty work, trying to spread their influence around. So he saw that the grandfather was like, "Oh, you don't want Abby to be put into an adoption home. You want somebody to be there for her. I can give you a solution." And so I think it's very wholesome from the grandfather, because he's aware okay, the adoption system kind of sucks, it's not really that great, and he doesn't have anybody else to rely on. But yeah, it is very cruel from Jonathan to be like, "You have a good heart, and I'm going to use that for our cult's benefit."
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good thing.
All right.
It's very nice.
Now we have the interview. So -2 is Abby.
Yeah.
We will read
Okay,
that.
so I'm -2.
Yes. Can you read it fine? Is it it's not too blurry?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Yeah. Transcript of interview log A. Interviewed -2. Interviewer Researcher Chang. Forward. Following initial containment and relocation to Site 282, -2 have refused to talk or allow permission for interviews. After deliberation among the team assigned to -1 and -2, it was decided to allow both to interact with each other with strict security measures to allow cooperation. After a 15-minute period to allow the two to interact with each other, the interview commenced. Begin log 1830. All right. How are you feeling, Miss Harlow?
A bit better. All those guards look scary, though.
I can't do anything about that. I'm sorry. We always take careful measures just in case. Can you state how old you are for the interview?
Sure. 16 years old.
Okay, I was wrong. I thought she was 20 by now, but... Thank you. Now, do you want to talk about what happened a couple days ago with that burglar?
I'm sorry. He wouldn't mean to hurt anyone that badly.
He almost killed that man, though.
I had to tell him to stop. I was scared at first because I thought the guy would hurt me. And then when I was crying out, well...
-2 stopped at this point to collect herself and take deep breaths. Nice. Yes. Do you want to continue this later? We can set up another interview for a different time.
No, it's okay. He just wanted to protect me is all. I told him to stop, and eventually he did. Is the guy okay?
He'll survive. You're concerned for the person who tried to break into your home and rob you.
What if he needed money or food? He could have asked, but maybe he did it for a good reason.
Well, let's move on to another topic. What is the relationship between you and your bear?
He's my granddad.
Your grandfather?
Yeah. I think I remember that he used to be a person, and now he's a bear.
Do you know why?
I remember one night before I went to bed, he told me that he'd leave, but come back differently. He told me he'd be a bear, so that I shouldn't be surprised when I see a bear walking around.
Come on. There we go. How long ago was that? Why did you believe him?
10 years ago? I was 6. Why wouldn't I believe him? He was a bear the next day. I saw him moving around.
How did you manage to take care of yourself? It doesn't look easy for bears to cook, at least.
He found books for me to read whenever I wasn't at school. He had taught me some things before he became a bear. I remember that. He taught me how to make sandwiches and how to cook dinner from a box in a microwave. We had a lot of those. I learned how to do it after a short time, and I can cook and feed myself.
Do you need to cook for your grandfather?
No, he doesn't need to eat. But sometimes when we play, or when he protects me, he accidentally breaks a part of his body. Once he figured out how to fix himself by eating stuff, I got a bunch of clay for him.
How did you get money and food?
Someone paid our bills every month and would send stuff to our house. The label always said Harmon.
Do you know who that is?
No, but my granddad always told me to take them. He knew who he was.
How does he talk with you?
He just speaks to my mind, and I talk back with my mouth. Isn't that cool?
Can he talk to anyone else with his mind?
He told me before that he tried. No one understands him. Sorry.
That's alright. Does he know where Mr. Harmon is now?
Do you know, Granddad?
Dash 1 makes grunting noises while turning to look at Dash 2.
He doesn't know anymore. He used to be with him in church a lot, though, but hasn't talked with him after becoming a bear.
I see. And I believe there's more for you. Yep.
Is the conversation over? I'm getting nervous and want to go back to talking with Granddad.
We can stop for today. Before we do, is there anything he wants to add to the conversation? Dash 1 doesn't make any additional noise, instead lying down on the floor and looking between Researcher Chang and the security guards.
He says he's afraid you'll try and hurt me.
End log. 1851. A round of applause for for Rika-chan.
That's menacing. That's not creepy at all. That guy's about to die.
Closing statement. Researcher Chang continued with superfluous and irrelevant questioning in order to ease Dash 1 Dash 2's anxieties and discomfort to make containment easier. At the end of the interview, Dash 1 and Dash 2 were allowed to spend another 20 minutes with each other before Dash 2 was guided back to her cell and the session formally ended. Alright, that is our second one.
That was an interesting one. I liked it.
I like that one too. It's yeah, I just feel bad for the grandfather because, yeah, even though his wish came true that he can stay longer with the granddaughter,
He's required to do bad things to stay alive.
yeah, well, he's just he's locked away for like
Yeah.
like Jonathan is now like, you know, somewhere in the world, and he's just tricked his like childhood best friend to do something like that, which I think in the end is was just meant for the Serpent's Hand to have more influence on people. And now that he's a bear, he doesn't even get to actually enjoy being with the granddaughter because due to him becoming an anomalous being, the Foundation's like, well, we gotta contain you and we gotta keep you separated from your granddaughter because we don't know if there's some weird telekinetic power that you have. So yeah,
True.
his wish did came true, but sadly, not the way he expected it to be. a little fun fact: there was a extra bit to that SCP actually. Oops. There's like so there are the series, the ones that we're reading here, but there's also the things called tales, which are not, they're like basically like almost like little stories that have nothing to do with like containing the SCP or anything, but it's like extra, like maybe a character went through something due to that SCP specifically. Which now that I'm thinking about it, what the hell is it? Because I know I read the, or maybe I didn't read it. Maybe I got recommended to read it. But yeah, there's a tale where the Foundation is actually public, and certain SCPs get letters from like people saying like, oh yeah, I'll come to visit you, I'll try to get you out. And the bear one, they get a letter from Jonathan where he says like, where he basically says the same thing, like it's like, oh yeah, my old friend, I'll see what I can do. I'll try any actions to get you out of the containment. I read for the stream, but I decided not to read it for the actual video itself because I'm already aware of it, but the reason why I'm mentioning it is so that people are aware that I have read it. I know what it's about.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yes,
That sounds
yes.
cool.